and 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 how to go beyond. I mean, what is beyond? What does beyond mean? What is the mind's understanding of beyond? Beyond can mean out there, out into the beyond, into the great beyond. But it also means before. Before anything took place, back in the beyond. You see, this is a confusing thing. But it's not confusing if you're ego-driven. The ego mind accepts everything as it is, meaning not the world as it is, not what is taking place in the world, but the lazy mind attitude of not really investigating that what is thrown at you, whether externally or internally. When you start investigating, when you have a clear mind and you start investigating, not with others' questions, when you're in the in the test room, that test when, clock is on, paper in front, answers, questions and then answers. You're put into a position to answer the questions from another source. So to investigate is not about investigating what has already been partly investigated. Because the questions in the test have already been investigated. Otherwise, how would the marker know how to give you a mark if they already didn't know the answer? So you're investigating questions that are already been answered. So is beyond out there? Or is it before all life? Very opposite directions, but the mind, that wise mind, can bring them together and say, well, actually they're the same thing. Because out there could be before, and in there could be into the great beyond, into the future. Out there could be the past, in there could be the future. Out there could be the future, in there could be the past. A really wise, intelligent mind will come up with the same answer. Don't know. The beyond exists, but where does it exist? I don't know. The I don't know brings you back to the present moment, meaning investigation over. I don't know. I does not know means end of investigation. And the end of the investigation is the answer. Not what comes after that, because the mind will then go on another journey about what to have for tea, how foolish it feels for not coming up with an answer, what time it has an appointment at the hairdresser. Because the mind will quickly take you out of the investigation and it will take you into another investigation about what time to the hairdresser. The answer is the midpoint between the investigation of the beyond ending and the investigation on the daily life. There's a midpoint, there's a stopping point. In that presence, in that moment, the beyond is discovered. But it can be discovered with any word or identity, because the beyond is the same thing. It is something never experienced because it was before you became a body. But it is also something experienced that is out there that the body cannot get to. So the past and the future gives up to the present moment. And the present moment reveals the answer. In the I don't know, the minute the I don't know ends before what time is the hairdresser or how to make a cup of tea or whatever it is, there's a moment, a very subtle, intimate, deep, profound moment where consciousness reveals the answer. But you can't speak about the answer because the body is midpoint. The body cannot speak about the beyond that it looks from. There are many speakers who tell you how to get to the beyond, ways to the beyond. Rupert Sheldrake has written a beautiful book about it. Wonderful, wonderful book about ways to get to the beyond. And it's an altered state of consciousness. We have many states of consciousness within us. The Bhagavad Gita will tell you that. The state of future consciousness, the beyond is up there, over there. One day I will get there. The state of past consciousness, I know something exists before I began speaking, seeing. I knew I existed. I knew something tells me that I existed before I even came into this body, but I don't know what it is, Past consciousness. And in the present moment is the door to another form of consciousness. But you can't put a name on it. The Bhagavad Gita tries to put a name on it. Rupert Sheldrake calls it altered consciousness. But it is just another version of consciousness. But it's more pure. It's really into the core of consciousness. Only consciousness really exists. Many minds will say, I'm quite happy, I'm quite happy being a human consciousness. I'm quite happy in this world, I've got no problems. I'm quite happy saying the beyond is up there, says another one. In the future, the future consciousness is what I'm waiting for, And another one can say, past consciousness tells me something about me that I know exists, but I'm not really going to spend many hours or days, months finding out. I'll just move in and out of past and future consciousness. And one day, when the body goes, the body will go through that final stage of consciousness, which is presence. When the body passes, the body's state of consciousness will not be thinking about where am I going. It won't be thinking about where am I going in the last breaths of the body. It won't be thinking about the beyond out there. It won't be thinking about what happened before I came into the body. I wonder if I should have spent time finding out. The body will be completely present. The mind and the body will be completely present to what is taking place. Presence is the last thing. Presence is what we are. We are presence. The body is present. The mind is present. With an ability to dream about the past or memorize the past, dream about the future, dream in deep sleep. It is the ability to imagine, it's the ability to experience it, it's the ability to experience doing one thing and thinking about another thing at the same time. You're driving the car, windscreen wipers on, clutch in, pedals are working, steering wheel's going down. You're thinking about a nice cup of coffee and a hot dog when you get to the destination. Oh, so many states of consciousness, but presence is the last state. But you don't leave presence, you see. The body leaves all these other states of consciousness, but it does not leave presence. So the way to the beyond, the way to understand who you are, where you are, why you are here, and all these things is through presence. Is when the investigation stops, but not with a willingness to just investigate something else. I have to be in that stopping. I have to be in that moment, that present moment, when I don't know. And something will dissolve, something will sink, something will fall, something will be enhanced, something will feel rejuvenated, something will feel depressed. Each one will have an instant reaction before it starts investigating into what is life again. The state of presence. The state of presence is not really a nanosecond. The state of presence is infinite. Everything is presence. Everything is awareness. Everything is completely here, totally, fully, wholly, as what it is. When you dissect, when you segment, when you break up, when you separate the beyond from out there and the beyond in here, and really separate God from out there and you here, or you here and God in there, you are out of presence. You're dissecting the whole. You're dissecting the whole, and the whole is holy. The whole is holy. It's always here in all ways.